So, after 400 years of nonstop conquest of Christian lands and the jewels of Christendom like Syria, Palestine, Anatolia, Cyrene, which is Libya, the Roman province of Carthage, going up into the Iberian Peninsula, modern-day Spain and Portugal, as well as rampant piracy upon the Mediterranean. After 400 years of that, total conquest, subjugation, enslavement, and piracy, rape, theft, and murder, and destruction of churches and synagogues, Pope Urban II said enough's enough. But not even did he say that. It was not until the Church Holy Sepulchre was burned to the ground, all Christian pilgrims to the Holy Land were slaughtered, and the Saracens / Muslims were at the gates of Constantinople ready to sack that city, because 3 of the ancient sees of Christendom had already fallen: Antioch, Jerusalem, and Alexandria. Alexis, the emperor of Constantinople, asked for 500 soldiers, but Urban II called for what it wasn't called a crusade, it was called a pilgrimage, to fight and protect the widow, the orphan, and the pilgrim, and those who weren't carrying weapons, and to protect them. This is in the Bible itself. Not aggressive warfare, but defensive and protecting the innocents. And the Crusades, really only the first, second, and not fourth, but only about 4 of the Crusades did anything. Captured land. The Crusaders were only interested in holding the Holy Land, even though they had initially taken the Sinai and much bigger pieces of land, of holding on to the holy places like Jerusalem, Antioch, and of course the seaports of Tyre and Sidon. This only lasted for 200 years at the most, and then the Crusaders went home after agreement was no more burning down of churches and protection of pilgrims. Yet, the Crusades were seen as this horrid thing, but even after the Crusades, the Muslim onslaught didn't stop. The Muslims finally took Constantinople and then went beyond and invaded the Balkans, which is why we have Bosnia-Herzegovina, and were at the gates of Vienna in the 17th century. People talking about the Crusades as a bad thing, you would have to say that Normandy was a bad thing, that the American and English forces fighting the Nazis and invading Nazi-occupied Europe was not justified. If the Crusades weren't justified, then how do you justify World War II? That would be my question. There's a lot of apologies about the Crusades, but by people who are apologizing to ignoramuses. The answer to all this should be education. Say, look, there was continual, uninterrupted conquest, rape, theft, and slaughter of 100% Christian lands, destruction of culture, of buildings, of churches, of sacred places. And it took the Crusades a very how should I put this? A very mild response to stop the the massacre of pilgrims and the destruction of the holiest shrines of Christendom, and to draw the Muslims away from the city of Constantinople. But that only, stopped them for a time, because, again, they were at the gates of Vienna in the 1700s. Or was it the 1800s? I forget. 1700s, I believe. Or no, 17th century. Sorry, 17th century. As well as the 700-year occupation of the Iberian Peninsula. All right, peace to you.